Normally, we would bring you the Columbus Report from our studio at Waycross Community Media. However, since Ohio is under a stay-at-home order, we're going to go online today to talk to Ohio Representative from the 28th District, Jessica Miranda.
Thank you for having me.
Now, there's a lot happening in Columbus right now, and we don't have time to hit absolutely everything, but I would like to hit a few quick topics. And actually, the thing I want to mention first is voting. Voting is going to look a little different for us. It's not just the primary. There are some issues on that ballot, so some folks might be inclined to say, who cares, it's just the primary. But of course, the primary itself is important, but also there are issues in your community on that ballot. So what are you seeing about the new ways to vote?
Yes, so thank you for that. We are now 13 days out from the extended deadline of the primary election, so perfect time to plug that. We're getting very, very close to the time that your ballot needs to be postmarked and turned back in. And like you said, you know, a lot of folks do dismiss voting in the primary election, but this primary election is so important, not just for the candidates that are on your ballot, but for the various issues that we have in each community as well. From, you know, school issues to county issues to all of the candidates that you have on your ballot. And I'll just real quickly touch all of the top line changes for folks out there. So the primary election was extended to now a deadline of April 28th instead of that original March 17th deadline due to the COVID-19 pandemic. You have to still request your absentee ballot via an application. And if you don't have access to a printer at home, you can call your local Board of Elections. So in our case, it would be the Hamilton County Board of Elections. You just simply call them, they take your information, and they will get a ballot sent out to you. So either fill out the application for absentee ballot and mail that in so that they can turn that around very quickly, or give them a call if you don't have access to a printer, and they'll go over with you the other ways that you can get an absentee ballot sent out to you. And then once that ballot is sent out, the BOE is going to send it to you with a postage paid envelope, so that all you have to do is vote your entire ticket and turn around and send that back to them. And it has to be postmarked by April 27th. Or you can drop it off to your local board office, because there are drop box locations, much like mail drop boxes, and you can put that in there on the 28th itself before the BOE closes. So couple different deadlines, couple different things you have to be aware of. And then of course the most important date is we are 13 days out from the 28th. However, you must request that ballot by the 25th. So we're running really close to the deadline, even though it has been extended. So for those of you who haven't voted yet, please be sure to do so. And of course, if you have any questions about that or any of the missing links that I didn't cover, feel free to reach out to the Hamilton County Board or myself. We've been very vocal about this new process on social media, so you can normally find all of the FAQs on my social media channels as well.
And I'll mention that the Hamilton County Board of Election has a very easy to maneuver website, votehamiltoncountyohio.gov. If you just type that in, you can look at a sample ballot, you can request that absentee ballot and have it mailed to you. And you're right, we don't have a lot of time for the mailed work.
Mm-hmm.
Don't waste time. If you need that absentee ballot, request it very soon. So that
yes.
You can also look at a sample ballot on the site if you're not sure what issues at the county level and at the local level for our school board. Right here in Winton Woods, there is something on the ballot. So we want to make sure that you can take a look at that right on their website.
Absolutely.
Now, the next thing I want to ask you about is you have been appointed to the Economic Recovery Task Force. We have daily at the state level been able to hear Governor Mike DeWine talk about what's going on with COVID-19 and how the state is coping with that. But now it's thankfully time to start looking beyond that, and how do we have economic recovery from all of this? So tell me about what that task force is looking at.
Yeah, so thankfully I was appointed to this Economic Recovery Task Force. We have now had technically 3 meetings, but 2 full meetings. So you can go to ohiochannel.org and watch our meetings. We had one today, earlier this afternoon. We have another one tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. And basically, this task force is comprised of 24 members of the legislature, and we are tasked with creating sort of a phase-in process of how we get back to normal, right? Normal after these unprecedented times. So anywhere from, working families to small businesses to bigger business and everything in between, we are going to try to take it from the experts all around our great state and formulate a plan for us to get back to normal and to get our economy back on track, because the unfortunate, time that we're in creates us this situation that we know the economy is going to take a very, very hard blow, a hard dip, and we have to put our great minds together and figure out how we come out of this a little less unscathed than if we didn't do anything and we weren't being proactive. So I appreciate the House leadership putting together this economic task force, and I am very, very honored to serve on it, and can't wait for tomorrow's meeting.
What are some of the early things that you're starting to talk about in these meetings that we could maybe expect to see later on?
So our very first meeting was great. We had an actual Southwest Ohio native, someone who made Cincinnati data software, and he talked a lot about, due to his, business dealings in China and South Korea, how they are dealing with this virus, how they have slowly but surely come back online in terms of their economy, and basically just giving us ideas. And what I pulled from his presentation the most was the idea of this phase-in process, right? Because we can't simply just flip a switch and say, okay, everything's back open, because then we run the risk of public safety and public health and the risk of another outbreak, and then having to clean up that would just be even more tragic. So we're trying to do everything we can to phase back into normal so that we protect the public's safety and their health, and we don't have to go back into a type of quarantine situation that we're currently in with the stay-at-home order. So there's lots of great things to take away from what China and what South Korea are doing, and other places across the world, but we always have to remember too that our nation is different than those countries as well. So there's a lot of differences, as well as some similarities that we can see when we put things back online. But biggest piece we drew from him, of course, was that phase-in process. So now we're kind of taking that a step further with this whole phase-in idea. And today's meeting was hearing from 3 different doctors. One was a dentist, one was a surgeon, and another one was a pediatric physician from different places of Ohio, and just kind of hearing how their practices are dealing with this pandemic, what they've seen, and what their suggestions would be. And they answered a lot of our questions from our members on the task force too. And then tomorrow's meeting is going to be comprised of a bunch of business type speakers. So we have some representatives from the Salon and Barber Association, the Hotel Association, and the Restaurant Association of Ohio as well. So we're getting lots of great aspects from lots of different, subgroups of the needs here from Ohioans. And I hope that very soon here we can compile all of these ideas together, get all of our questions answered, and use the data and the science to really decide how we're going to get back on track and phase back into normalcy.
I know one way we can phase in is to support some of our local businesses now. That some of the businesses that traditionally have not had takeout options are now offering takeout options or online options that maybe they didn't offer before, but it's a way that we can be aware of what businesses are in our community and can we order from them instead of a big box option.
Yes, of course. And I know, being a small business owner myself, that is very, very important to me, is supporting your local small businesses, whether that be a restaurant or a bar that also serves food, etc. I know here in Forest Park, most all of our places are open for takeout and delivery. And even the places that deliver and who have traditionally delivered are doing safe deliveries now. Like, for instance, we got lunch from Papa John's today. And day before yesterday, we got dinner from La Rosa's, and they will do a safe delivery where they just leave everything right on your doorstep for you. and then you just come out and get it after the driver has left your stoop or left your doorstep. So it makes it very, very easy. And I know the big thing that everyone's talking about and tweeting about is the governor now allows certain restaurants to deliver margaritas, and people are super happy about that. And I've yet to use that, but I think that's a good idea too. Olive Garden is serving wine bottles to go and things like that. I think they're doing beer to go too. So have fun with that while you can, I should say.
You know, anything that makes stay at home better, and we're not driving anywhere, right? So
That's right.
we might as well support our local businesses one other way.
That's right. Don't abuse it, but let's support them in any way that we can, because, you know, the truth of the matter is this is a crazy time, right? And they're dealing with lost revenues, and we're going to have to figure out how we can, you know, phase them back in a way that protects their bottom line, but also protects people. And then another piece that a lot of folks don't think about is protecting their workers as well, right? Because businesses want to have clarity and people want to know they're going to be safe, whether that's at work or home and anywhere in between. And that's our job as legislators on this task force, is to try to figure out how we can balance all of those needs in a smart and a safe way so we're not putting people's lives at risk.
We have taken just a little bit of your time here. Thank you so much for talking with me. But before I end, I want to ask you if you've been hearing any particular stories that embody some hope or encouragement of things that people are doing that you'd like to share with us.
Yes, and I'm going to be super selfish and stingy and talk about all of the great things the Great 28 are doing, right? Because that's my district. That's who I'm proud to represent. And for those of you who don't know, the 28th House District spans from the city of Forest Park over to the city of Montgomery and everywhere in between. So we have Forest Park, Pleasant Run Farms, Green Hills, Evendale, Glendale, Springdale, Sharonville, almost done, Blue Ash, Deer Park, Reading, Sycamore Township, Montgomery, and Madeira. So 13 total municipalities, differences between cities, townships, and villages. So I have a little bit of everything. And we actually just sent out our newsletter last week talking about and kind of highlighting all of these wonderful things that these companies and folks are doing here in the district. So I'll just talk about a couple of them. And then, of course, if you're not signed up to receive my newsletter, please reach out to me and make sure you get signed up so you can get all this good information. The Blue Ash Police Department is doing a wonderful thing where they're having parents submit their children's birthdays, and they will come around with their cruisers and the fire trucks and do a little parade for the birthdays for the kids, because, you know, we're missing out on a lot of birthday parties and things like that right now during this time. And then we have a company in Reading called Standard Textile who has basically switched their business to create personal protection equipment for our local medical providers. So that's fantastic that they were able to quickly shift their business model into helping during this unprecedented time. So we wanted to make sure we highlighted that business as well. And then we have, of course, there's a restaurant called Cooper's Hawk in Sycamore Township over in the Kenwood area. And they have committed, ever since the stay-at-home order was given, that they are giving hot meals every day to every one of their employees. So no employee of Cooper's Hawk has to worry about where their next meal is going to come from while they're laid off during this time. They get meals every day, and they've even figured out a way to deliver it to them. So it's such a seamless process and such a wonderful thing they're doing for people and their families. And then, of course, the last thing I'll say is the Winton Woods City School District is so fantastic. They have done, you know, we kind of perfected this, and I'll take a little ounce of credit for this back when I was on the board there, but, you know, the nutrition is the mission bus, right? Because we knew it was difficult for families, especially working families, to get their kids to the meals, but if we brought the meals to them, that would fix the problem. So now during this time of pandemic, the food bus goes in our city that our district serves to make sure kids have meals every day, 11 to 1 p.m. every afternoon at various locations throughout the districts, where kids can just come in, no questions asked, anywhere from, if I'm not mistaken, it's 5 years old to 18 years old, or 1 to 18. You just come straight through and get your meal, and you're on your way, and everything's done safely. Everyone has masks on. The food is handled with care. And so, you know, these are all awesome ways our communities are coming together to make sure we stay happy, stay focused, and stay well during this unprecedented time.
Yeah, I am very impressed with the Nutrition is the Mission bus. And it's pretty amazing that Winton Woods as a school district was already ready to be able to handle this kind of situation, because they had already thought about the fact that, gee, school is a source of nutrition. It's not just a source of academics. And that was something that they, while you were on the board, that was something that they have already looked into. So it's exciting to look at how these things are being handled within our community. It's exciting that someone from our community is part of the economic task force that will help us build back up to this. So I appreciate your work on that.
Thank you. Also, I'd like to mention that we are doing lunch with your legislators for the next 3 Fridays. So me and 3 other state representative colleagues of mine that represent various districts down here in Southwest Ohio, we're getting together and we're doing specific topics each Friday. Our first one will be this Friday at 11 a.m. And the topic will be public health and the COVID-19 virus, as well as voting in Ohio's extended primary. And we're going to have guest speakers every time. So our guest speakers this Friday is Dr. Odell Owens and Sally Crissell from the Hamilton County Board of Elections. So that'll be this Friday. On April 24th, we will do another topic surrounding small business and the resources available, and we'll have speakers from Jobs Ohio and maybe Ready Cincinnati. And then on May 1st, the topic will be education and something else. So we'll have guest speakers for that as well. So it'll be Facebook Live and via Zoom call. So make sure you follow us on social media and register for those, and you'll be sent reminders as they come closer to time to log on.
What Facebook page should they be following to find out about those?
All of our official Facebook pages. So mine, of course, is State Representative Jessica Miranda is how you can find it on Facebook. And I think it's actually /Jessica for Ohio is how you can find me on Facebook. Twitter is my name, Jessica E. Miranda, same with Instagram. And then for all of my other colleagues, you can find them on all 3 platforms the same as well. So State Rep Cedric Denson, who represents the Fighting 33rd, State Rep Bridget Kelly, who is the 31st District, and then State Representative Kathy Ingram, who represents the 32nd District. So you can find all of us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. The graphics are already up and posted, and we're looking forward to Friday.
I want to thank you so much for taking some time. I know you spent a lot of time in meetings today. So
Yes.
I thank you so much for taking a little bit of time to meet with me virtually over the internet. And I look forward to finding out what happens next and how Ohio and how the 28th District is the next thing that we do. That's an amazing response to seeing what's going on during the crisis.
Thank you for having me. I greatly appreciate it. And I will always be here for you if you ever need to chat about state government or anywhere in between. That is my job after all. I work for you as your state representative, so I'm here. And we are still working, even though, albeit it's from home, but we are still here, still working, still answering constituent emails and needs. So please, if you have any needs and you are a constituent of mine, especially if it's an unemployment need or anything else out there under the sun, reach out to me at my official email, which is rep28@ohiohouse.gov. And my aide and I will make sure we can either answer your problem quickly, or we will send it up and escalate it through the chain of command to get your issue taken care of.
And that actually is a great segue for me to remind viewers, as I remind them almost every program, that the reason we have these programs is to make sure that local residents are connected to the people that are serving them in their government. And I hear from every single person I interview at every level, we're approachable, we're accessible, please contact us. We can help you with things. And the first step of us being able to help you is you have to tell us what you need. So, and we've heard that over and over again from all kinds of different levels, from the town level, from the county level, and from the state level. So I appreciate it.
Exactly. Thank you for reiterating that. Please feel free to reach out to me for any need. Nothing is too small. We can make sure we get you the resources that you need so we can solve it.
Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate you taking just a little time with us today. And looking forward to seeing what happens next.
Of course. Thank you so much and take care.
And thank you for watching to make sure that you're informed about what's going on in your government. I'm Dana Gagnon, Government Programming Coordinator at Waycross Community Media. Stay safe and stay home.